Hello everybody, how's it going today? It's Frankie and I'm back with another last of my top trump card collection that I have so far. And I did say I probably wasn't going to show these, but it's the last set of the Doctor Who top trump cards I have in this pack. Again, I forgot to remove the price on it. But yeah, I've had these for like donkey's years now. I think probably more than 15 years or something like that. Hardly gets used, but might as well put to good use now. And it's a tiny bit dusty. It's been in my drawer, hardly gets used. But yeah, might as well show them. These categories are different this time. And first up we have a character called Chip. I recognise this character. Is this part of Cassandra? Is that who it is? Let me read it down here. I mean, it says the information down here too. Okay, Chip worships and serves the Cassandra. Okay, yeah, that's who it is. Okay, you can see the ratings on the side there as well. You probably can't tell what the numbers are because it's too bright. But yeah, height, you got intelligence. The other one had intelligence. Monster rating, darkness and courage. Interesting. Still not as good as the previous one with the red and green ratings and the other type of cards. But you got the Reaper. I forgot what the Reaper is. You got the height. Okay, you got the same one. There's a Reaper right there. Don't think you can see him. The Editor. Oh, if you will recognize this character, his name is, I think, Mark Summit. Is that who it is? I think he was on Seb's Good. Not Seb. No, the Traitors, Cerberus. I think it's him. He does look younger in this. I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, then correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's just the same word here. Not really much on this one. You got Harriet Jones. If most of you watched Doctor Who, then if you've forgotten her already, she's the one that was in that Sycorax episode, the David Tennant Doctor. Yeah, that one basically. Yeah. I'm not really much to say on that one. They got the information. I'm not going to read it, so I'm just going to skip it. You got the good old Doctor. Obviously got to have him in, in this sort of like, top trump card collection. And yeah, so intelligence is going to should be higher than that, at least 80 or something. I mean, he's a Doctor, he's going to be more intelligent. Darkness as well. I assume darkness means how evil they are. I would assume so. But yeah, I'm not going to read all the numbers of these ratings. Just the important type of people. Sarah Jane Smith. I mean, all characters are important. I'm just saying, I don't want to make the video too long. Now, Sarah Jane Smith, she has her own. Yeah, if you haven't seen her show already, Sarah Jane Adventures, it's kind of similar to that basically. Sarah Jane Adventures was okay with her, I think the computer. I think that she called the computer husband or something. I'm not sure what was going on there. I can't remember. Don't know what happened to that show. It didn't go on for very long. Wasn't as good as Doctor Who, I guess. But yeah, intelligence similar to Doctor Who, 41, courage. Yeah, I'm not reading some of these. Monster rating should be 0. She ain't a monster. Maybe because there's probably a non-human element to her. But other than that, I don't think she's got any like monster in there. To be fair. And you got Adam. I recognise his face. I can't remember. Maybe read it here. Henry Van Statten, acquiring category and alien artifacts. I forgot who he is. It's been a long time since I watched that version of Doctor Who. You got good old Mickey Smith, Noel Clarke. I think his name is Noel Clarke. In real life, his name is Noel Clarke. He was in an episode which one of my favourite episodes, called I forgot the episode's name, but I had the Daleks vs Cybermen in it, and like a big ball. Like a Dalek's nest or whatever it was, Dalek egg or something, dogs just came out of it. But then there was also some sort, I think it was like a time thing as well where Cybermen came out. It's hard to explain, you have to watch the episode so you understand what I mean. Reiner, I used to pronounce the name, right? Reiner, I don't know if you can see by the light. Reiner, okay. 18th century Versailles, okay, yeah. This show can also be, I know it's sci-fi, but it can also be good education because they go back in time. You sort of learn about the history, but in a fictional way, if that makes any sort of sense. So that's, yeah, I like that. Right? I like that right there. It's kind of interesting. You get to learn about, it's fictional. Bear in mind, fictional. But there's still some odd factual parts to it, if that makes any sort of sense. It's like when you're watching these sort of sci-fi things. It's kind of watching history when you do stuff like this because they still go back in time. And you kind of learn how things were for them, but in like a fictional way. I did want to try and get that explanation out with that reasoning. And K9, who does remember this robot dog? Now it doesn't. K9's not necessarily always about Doctor Who. I think there was something else about K9. I think I watched some on TV, which is old TV shows that possibly failed. and there was like a K9 the Detective Dog or whatever it was. I can't remember. It was something similar to that. Looking back on it, looks like old junk, doesn't it? But K9 was actually quite entertaining. You know, I don't forget who did the voice to it. Clockwork Robot. These are, I forgot about them. I'm looking back at these. I forgot about the you know, these robots. Yeah, they look quite creepy. I think they had a little hook. The kind of similar to that. They were like mannequins or something like that. It says it right there. I'm not going to read the description of it. If you want, you can get these cards so you can read the description for yourself. The Gelf. Don't remember much of this character from way back. Yeah, I'm not going to read it, but I forgot what episode it was. Okay, yeah, even in the description, I still don't really are. You got to have the Cyberman in. You got to. I think there's got to be a Dalek card in here too. But yeah, Cybermen are cool. I know that because they're robots, they're going to be a bit stiff and walk, but I just didn't find them as scary. I just seem to think they're quite an easy enemy. Apart from the laser gun, they're quite an easy enemy to actually, you know, destroy. They're just stiff, they're slow walking. The only thing that hasn't gone is also the armor to it too. How the, you know, the bullets as well. Yeah, bullets won't work with them. Daleks are more stronger because they got lasers. They got like that plunger thing, the sucks your face or whatever it is. Excuse me. They also got like an invisible force field too. The Dalek. So they got. People forget that. They're pretty powerful. They can fly as well. So with Cybermen, don't really do much. You got the Slitheen. You know, as you can see, Big Ben. This was based in London, and yeah, the Slitheen was a ugly looking enemies. I forgot about these. It's basically where. I'm not going to put my conspiracy hat on here. I'm not going to be like those type of people like, oh, you see, it's to do with politicians. I'm going to leave that out of this type of video. If you watch those type of videos on TikTok, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, usually politicians have these where they kind of like, they have like a zip on top of their head and they just come out. I remember this episode, but I forgot about these enemies. Strangely enough, I forgot about them, but I remember this episode now. It's coming back to me. And these sort of ugly creatures come out. They're not even scary, they're just ugly. And there's that funny scene where I think one person came in and this person was kind of like this person was a bit horrified by what they saw, and then one of the civilians just goes, oh, just get out. That was quite funny. I don't know how I remembered that. I mean, I haven't watched Doctor Who in ages, but it's come back to me now. Face of Bo. I remember a bit of this character actually. Not just because I did the other Doctor Who Top Trump cards, but because there's something weird about this character. There's always these sci-fi shows that have some weird looking enemies. I get them meant to be different, and because they're aliens and they're not, you know, one of us, that's where we'd have to make them look a bit like ugly and a bit weird looking. But this one was a bit weird too. But intelligence is high. I don't remember him saying anything. I think he said a few intelligent things. I won't call him intelligent. He didn't talk much. I think this was the episode where it was Cassandra involved in it as well. Was it a two-parter, if I remember correctly? We've got the Quilitane, which is where the teachers are kind of like these type of creatures that come out and sort of like attack kids. Come to think of it, Doctor Who is actually pretty disturbing with the whole context of enemies. I don't have to read it, I just remember these enemies. And it had that actor that you know, if you watch Little Britain, I mean, it's the what was it, the guy that was talking to Sebastian, the prime, I think it was just called Prime Minister. But yeah, if that's the guy's face basically, the guy that played the Prime Minister in Little Britain in that sketch when David Reynolds played Sebastian. So if you don't remember that, then you probably wonder who I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember that face quite well. I'm pretty sure that's who the head teacher was in that in this episode of Doctor Who. I don't know if it was this specific Quilitane, but there was multiple of them. You got the good old TARDIS. Wouldn't keep a TARDIS as a card. It's more like a vehicle kind of time machine. It doesn't really do much. They have to put courage is not applicable. So why? I don't get why they have to include a card where it's nothing to do with like one of the categories. It's a bit strange. It's not gonna have any courage, is it? But it's obviously the time machine. I think that might be it. No Dalek card in here. Oh, the Empty Child. This is the one with Christopher Eccleston in it as well. this was the Doctor that was in it. Basically had these weird people with gas masks, and it's from like World War II or whatever it was. Yeah, this was a bit creepy as well. When they started walking, they started saying, "What, my mummy?" That was a bit. I'm starting to think of it now. It was quite creepy, but it was fun for me to watch as a kid because I just took it as like something fun for me to watch. Yeah, it wasn't exactly kid friendly, this show, was it? Bit creepy. I'm pretty sure some kids probably got nightmares on watching it. I didn't. I actually enjoyed watching it. I think this was a two-part as well, this episode. I forgot how the Doctor prevented it. I kind of forgot how it even happened. But yeah, kind of creepy, especially when that guy, before part one finished, the guy had like something coming out of his mouth that was part of like, you know, the mouth part of the gas mask. It was kind of weird. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't make me gag then. It was kind of creepy then. You got Sisters of Plenitude. I remember them. These were the cat people. I think this is where was it Malcolm, wasn't it too, if I remember correctly? And because I remember from the previous card I viewed too. Yeah, she was quite an intelligent character as well, if I remember correctly. You got the Auton. I forgot about these enemies. Now I'm starting to remember a bit about them. Are they? Yeah, how did they get people now? I know they were like mannequins. There was something, but I kind of forgot about them. I think it's probably in the, was it Chris Eccleston episode? No, Chris Eccleston when he was a doctor in this episode. Yeah, with all guns. Okay, they had guns. I think they might have something in their hands. Yeah, you got good old Captain Jack right there. For me, he showed a bit of passion into it as well when he was in it. I think he was in it with the David Tennant one. Maybe with Christopher Eccleston when he was a doctor, I think too. But he acted in other shows too. So, what else did he act in? I'm sure he's acted in other shows as well. But yeah, he was one of the passionate characters in that show as well. So I think a lot of people there was a strong likability about him in the show too. The Sycorax is what I was talking about earlier. When I showed the Harriet Jones card. I think her name was Harriet Jones, her surname. Yeah, it was, yeah. And yeah, I found these enemies a bit humorous. I know they're monsters, but it's kind of a bit humorous. It's kind of funny when David Tennant, like when he was playing as, you know, because he was a doctor in this episode, where he threw like an orange, or as he calls it, Satsuma. Him and Rose were debating about if it was called an orange or Satsuma. Same thing, I just call it orange. And he tried to battle one this I think it was a Sycorax leader. And as soon as the Sycorax was about to get up, he started to fold like the orange at a button, and it just opened up the platform or something like that, and he just fell through it. It was like a trapdoor basically. You know what I mean if you watch the episode. You gotta have a Dalek in here, Emperor Dalek. I don't think this was a card in my other top trumps. I don't think it was, unless it was, and I just don't remember it. I have a lot of cards for that one. It's a shame too because this Dalek is powerful, not because there's the word Emperor in it, but look how powerful this is. Look at that. I don't think you can tell by the numbers, right? Height 9.14, intelligence is 49, monster rating 9, darkness 200, courage 50. It feels like the courage is like maximum 50, but yeah, you got this obviously with an Emperor Dalek. If you're called Emperor, you have to be at least powerful in every category, and maybe one category that's weak. But yeah, this is probably a dog that everybody would love to have in their category, in their deck or pack, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I remember this one from was it Christopher Eccleston episode where he went out the TARDIS, and I read this Daleks. I think that's the one. And the Daleks was like, they were trying to extend to him and his companions. I remember he had two, but I think it was Rose and somebody else. And the lasers didn't affect him because there was a force field around the TARDIS. Somehow it wasn't very clear. All Daleks say is we're going to exterminate the Doctor. They never did. I never kind of understood why they did not just exterminate him. Maybe it's because he's not human and they thought he's too powerful. All these times enemies could stop these people and they don't do it. Have I ever done a review on Doctor Who? I don't think I ever have. Why haven't I? Maybe it's because I haven't seen it for years, and it was back when I was like, I think, was it 16, 17 years ago? Was probably the last time I watched it. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't remember much of it, but I do remember some of these enemies, so I could do a review on it. It's going to be difficult because I'm going to have to remember everything. I'm going to have to go back on that show. I think that would be a bit of a hassle. But yeah, You gotta have a normal Dalek in here too. Regular Dalek, height 1.80, intelligence 45, monster rating 10. Emperor Dalek should have been at 10, and this one should be at 9. Darkness 190, courage 55. This Dalek has more courage than the Emperor. That's a bit. That was a bit of bit confusing. Looks like the maximum, because in fact all these courage in fact the courage of all these characters is only at 50, the maximum, some of them. So yeah, that should be a bit more lower. Don't understand why. And there's no way. Okay, yeah, 1.80 for height. I've seen that their height is only normal one there. Intelligence there will be intelligent. I bear in mind too, as I mentioned with the Cyberman card, these are more powerful. They can float on water, which I still don't remember the episode of when I showed the previous Top Trump card collection of Doctor Who. So yeah, it showed a picture of that Dalek going underwater. But these Daleks here, they don't just go underwater. They can fly. They can shoot lasers, and there's also that plunger there too, if you can see it. That's a suck the face or whatever else it does. Yeah, they got a force field around it. It's a very powerful enemy. I'm surprised the Doctor was even brave enough to go against him. He's a Doctor for a reason. You got the werewolf. Now I'm starting to remember this character. I forgot about the werewolf in this one. Somebody turned into a werewolf and started attacking people. I can't really remember how it died. I can't quite remember that. I think they got shot or something like that. But yeah, you got good old Rose. Oh boy, so she's fit. I can't lie though, probably the fittest companion I've seen in Doctor Who. I mean, okay, it's a bit too bright. Yeah, you won't be able to see properly with this light. But yeah, how can you? I mean, come on. How can you not say she's like the fittest one you've seen on Doctor Who? If anybody's seen Doctor Who, you would know what I'm talking about. You would know that I'm correct on this one. But yeah, I think she was like probably the best companion as well because of her courage and the emotions from the Chris Ferguson and David Tennant Doctors was crazy. It made me feel it more. It made me want to watch more of it. Now it's just like there's no feel to it. It's like they just put new people in just like that. It doesn't have no feel to it. But yeah, you can't lie. Best companion. She was passionate though. She just didn't want to leave the Doctor in any case. I mean, it's funny. These companions don't want to leave the Doctor despite what they've been and seen. You think they'll be horrified and traumatized. They actually want more of it. Maybe it's a charisma thing goes with the hero and the male. You know, you got the male figure there being the Doctor, being a hero, typical. And then you have like the female companions there. So it's kind of typical, I guess. And you know, they keep getting saved. Every time they're about to be into trouble, they keep getting saved. But her courage is 72. Good to have her in your pack, just in case, you know, the other person, just in case you want to do courage and the other person has lower courage than you. The mighty Jaguarfest. I keep calling Jaguarfest, but it's Jaguarfest. Excuse me. Now I'm starting to remember this enemy too. Another ugly enemy. I can't remember how they. I think something was said or something was done that destroyed the Jaguarfest because it was controlled by something. I just can't remember, and it's quite creepy as well. Kids watch the Doctor, you know, Doctor Who from this side, from this part, you know, especially from that era. They would get freaked out now. You got the cyber controller. Don't remember the cyber controller. Oh, I think it might be the wait, John Lumick, the head of cyber engineers. Is it the guy that played Trigger in Only Fools and Horses? I've forgotten his name. R.I.P. to him, by the way. I've forgotten his name. Yeah, he's the one that played the head of the Cybermen in that episode, Doctor, and the Cybermen wanted. He was basically like a leader. I might think of a different episode, but he was basically like the leader, and the Cybermen just put into a machine to turn him in one. I'll probably think of another episode. That's probably what I'm thinking of. But yeah, you can tell I've got quite a lot of memories now. Cassandra, remember her? Remember her for some reason. Another weird looking creature / character. I'm not going to go through the categories here. But yeah, I think she turned into a human after a while. Because it wasn't Chip, it was somebody else that she turned. I can't remember. But Rose started talking to her first. I think that's what it was. And I think, how did Rose get trapped? I can't quite remember. You got Jackie Tyler, Rose Tyler's mum. I recognise her from other shows too, bear that in mind. I just can't remember where I've seen her now. She probably appeared in Salt Drums. I can't. She's look at if just remind me, whoever, I don't know if you can tell, I don't know if you can see her properly. Just let me know what other show she's been in before, because I'm sure I've seen her face quite a few times. Yeah, Rose Tyler's mum. She didn't agree with the doctor, you know, taking all these trips and whatnot, but eventually she did, you know, accept it. And there was an episode where the doctor took Rose back, and Rose's mum looked kind of like, oh my god, you're back, like she was horrified that she hadn't seen them in years. It turns out that they were back after 11 years. It's crazy. It can be trippy, that show, sometimes you try to understand things. And we're back at Chip. So yeah, that's a good collection right there, I can't lie. Not as good as the red and green category cards. That will forever remain as probably the best type of top trump card collection I've got of Doctor Who. But yeah, it's gone on for nearly 21 minutes now. That's crazy. That's a lot of explain. I did not think it was going to go for that long. It felt like I've only explained it for like, what, 10 minutes? But yeah, it's a really fun game. I think that's my last collection of top trump cards anyway. Not my last I'll ever get, maybe, but it does get boring after a while. But I'll keep them just in case, you know, I've some sort of like competition or something like that with other people. And yeah, so that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below. So see you in my next video.